think a lot of people, I certainly related to this, try and find a work-life balance, and we've all got this pressure to be balance, which implies that if you haven't found some like equilibrium between family and kids and your work, then for some reason you're like mentally like whatever. And I found a huge amount of stress came from trying to find that balance. I'd be like, oh my god, it's nearly 5 o'clock and I've not got everything done, and I'd be so stressed to try and smack in the last whatever I needed to do within the 45 minutes I had left, that when I was with my kids I'd be like I'd feel so stressed. And as soon as I stopped doing that, and I was like, you know what, if I have to answer a couple of emails in front of my kids, whatever. If I'm answering emails and then I'll like when I'm on holiday with my kids, whatever. They're not going to cry about it as long as I'm present with what they're doing, and it's not just like mummy's on a laptop, like cool. But the minute I really integrated both of them, was like, this is just my life.
This is my life. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, it was like, like. And I'm so anti this balance thing now, because I think it gives people unrealistic expectations of what they should be doing in their life, which brings me back to what you were saying, like, you should be meditating, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Like, fuck that. Just do whatever you want to do.
Do whatever you want to do.
If it works for you, who cares?
I'll have I won't be on my laptop in front of the kids. I think
I try and have that as like a hard rule.
And that will stay in a different room. And if I get, whatever it is, 2 hours, however many hours it is a night with them, there'll be no laptops. Maybe on my phone, might be on a call. But no laptops. But the balance thing is interesting, isn't it? Because it feels like it's by its very nature, you're constantly doing this. So how can you actually...
It's a battery. The life isn't a scale. It's a battery. You need to get charged in some places and expended in others. Like, and also for some people, like you and I particularly, we'll get a lot of our energy from work. Because we love it, and it's like it's our thing, it's our baby. But then it can also deplete us. But equally, we get a lot of energy from our family and our friends and our hobbies, which can also deplete us. So it's not about balance, really. It's about charge. Like, where are you spending and charging your battery and trying to keep it at like a decent level? Because we all know what it's like when you've got like 6% battery left on your phone. Like, it stops working properly. Like, you're stressed. Like, that's how you are as a person.
Exactly. That's true. I at the beginning of the year, because we got investment at the end of last year, had managed to do it the week before Christmas, which was an incredible feeling. But it also meant that we could just take some time off, because it was effectively all consuming, and it was like the most important thing, probably the most important deal that we will ever do individually, together, but also individually, just generally in life, just that one thing, because it can lead to so much more, and such a big reward at the end of it as well, that we just needed a break. So Mariam and I both said, okay, take however long, 10 days off over Christmas, spend it with the family, and then we're going to come back fully energized, recharged, new plan, this is what we're doing, and then we'll just go hell for leather, we'll give it absolutely everything. And in that thought process, I was like, oh yeah, maybe the one thing I could probably cut out is exercise, because I just won't go to the gym, and I won't do, I might go for a run every couple of days just to, just get
download.
Exactly that. But like, I won't do that bit anymore, because that's time I could be working. And then it didn't take long for me to realise that actually, because I don't have an outlet, and I can't go running every day, because who wants to do that? Like, that's bonkers to me. I don't want it. And also I don't have. If you're going to train like that for something long distance, you need to build up time. Again, I was like, I don't have time to do that. I need to focus on my business, so I can't do that. Not that I wanted to, but I couldn't. But then very quickly realised that actually, I don't feel great, and I wasn't eating great, because I was...
You never do when you first start a business.
Yeah, because I'm just like
snacking.
I'll snack here. I need to get some...
Forgetting to eat.
Like on the way over here, I had lunch on the tube.
Yeah.
Gross if anyone had to watch me eat a bang bang chicken wrap on the tube. I'm really sorry. But it's like that, you're not eating well because of that. And you just think, okay, well, it's fine, because I'm giving it everything for my own business.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're not... It's not balance. It's just it's what you need to do to kind of help. It's much more of a help than a hindrance.
Yeah.
If you take half an hour out to go for a run or do some exercise, you will be so much more productive after that. And that half an hour isn't, you won't miss it.
No, and also what you'll get done in the hours following will be double what you would have done if you had
Exactly. It's like if you work all day and then you have lunch, you have a big lunch, and then at 3 o'clock you're really lethargic, you've got no energy, and you're like, oh my God, I cannot continue with what I'm doing. I need something, I need to change something, I need some energy, because I've just got that lull. And then you're not in the right headspace. If you actually had gone for a run at lunchtime, come back and gone, right, I'm going to have some food, or done some exercise at lunchtime, come back, had some food, you've got you've got endorphins released from the exercise, overstimulation of your brain, or stimulation of the brain. The food is energizing you because it's like it's repairing your body, what you lost. So it's repairing you. It's literally giving you energy,
as opposed to taking it up.
Yeah. It's giving you energy. So then that you might have done that. That might be an hour or 45 minutes. But what you do in those 4 or 5 hours afterwards is so much. It's better quality.
Yeah.
You might even do less. Right, you might do less actual work and go, I'm going to get that off my desk, that on my desk, that on my desk. If done, but it's all bad quality, it doesn't go anywhere. So what's the point? You might as well go, do you know what, I'm going to do one thing and do it really fucking well, and I'm going to nail it, and suddenly it turns into something.
It's funny, I got so much hate because I said this on the NatWest Business Show Live. I said there's 4 hours a week that my team know that like I'm not responding to them, and it's that hours that I'm training. I do more than that, but like in the context of like the 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, it's 4 hours a week, and then I do it on the weekend as well. And I won't respond to calls then because that's like my time to exercise. And I got obliterated online for that, being like, oh, you're so selfish, like, you know, you sound like a terrible boss, and da-da-da. And I was like...
Really?
Oh, yeah, obliterated. It got like 8,000 comments or something stupid.
Really?
But the context of that clip being taken out of what I was saying was, because if I don't do that, then I can't be the leader that I need to be for the business. And to your point about when you first started the business and you weren't really taking care of yourself, that was all me last year. I was eating like shit. I wasn't exercising. I was stressed all the time. That showed in my leadership. Now I'm like, I'm not putting shit in my body. I'm exercising like 5 to 6 times a week. I'm actively going and having fun. I didn't take like proper holidays for the first 3 years of business. This year I'm like, my girlfriend's want to go away. Cool. Fucking going to go away. I'm not going to apologize for it because I need to have fun too. And that is quite polarizing because people are like, well, you're the boss, you shouldn't be doing any of those things. Of course you should be doing everything for everyone else. Yeah, you do, but also if you're not filling your cup, you can't fill anyone else's. So if you don't feel like what you're doing is rewarding because you're not getting time to do exercise, you're not getting time to have fun with your friends, you're not getting time with your kids, you're just going to resent it.
Of course.
And you're never going to show up in the same way that you would if you were really like, cool, let's go.
Good friend of mine, Hass, he said to me, is like, I was talking to him about this, about the stressed element of it, and then when that kind of, the juxtaposition of when you're in an office or you're in London or you're in meetings and you get home and then, you know, you've had that hour-long journey to decompress, and then kind of how do you present yourself when you go in is very different to when you're at home and you go from one room to another and you're straight into the chaos of family life, and you have to be you have to be dad. You have to be dad. You have to be normal. But you spend more of your day working than you do with your family and your kids, right? So what is normal? But then you have to be present and, you know, all that stuff. He said, like, just do one thing. Before you open that door, just ask yourself this. What would the best dad in the world do right now?
Oh, I love that.
And then that's your attitude to go into. So I do that now. When I go in, if I get in from being out all day, then I'll do that as I walk through the front door. If I do it when I come in from my office, I'll walk, come through that door, and I'll do the same. Most times, I'm not fucking superhuman, you know what I mean? Some days I don't do it, which I thought was amazing. But going back to your point of what you said earlier on about you got a lot of hate online for saying that, but in the same vein, what you're doing is set an example to your team that prioritise your health, prioritise eating right, prioritise your fitness, prioritise your well-being, because you as the leader, you do that, you prioritise that. So you could have one member of staff or 100,000 members of staff. If the boss or the CEO of the business is leading that life, then they will learn from that. They will see that and they go, it's okay if I want to do an hour of exercise a day because Amelia does it. And that's the culture of the business, right? So it's like, well, that's good because I really want to work here because my boss prioritises herself and her well-being and her fitness and her health and all of that stuff. Surely you'd much rather work for someone like that than someone who has burnt out, works 7 till 11, as in AM to PM, not 7 AM to 11 AM. That's mental.
I mean, that's a dream.
That would be great.
Let's go and sit on a beach the rest of the day.
Or just be a Forex trader. Do your trades in the morning and then go off. And that's what Instagram teaches
that's how we all get rich, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Do 10 minutes of trades, makes 36 grand in 10 minutes, and then go and sit on the beach and read the Times for the rest of the day. But that's what a leader should be doing.
Yeah.
It's not just about access to you
Yeah.
or
It's being a role
hard
model.
work. It's about being a role model as
Yeah.
well. And as you say, the work-life balance, whether we agree with that terminology or not, it's there, and people value it more so now as we're out of like post-pandemic, and it's like work from home and all that stuff.
Like 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, no, it's wild, isn't it? It's wild.
March 24th, 2020.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah. What the fuck? Yeah, where's that time gone?
It's like I feel like we've been in a time warp. It's gone. And we're like spat out 4 years later, and it's like, what the fuck? The fact we're still talking about it is like mental, but it just shows to show the trauma. Yeah. Like the fact that we still talk about it like it was last year.
Like exactly. Like it's still going on.
Yeah.
But it has had such a massive impact on work-life balance, specifically in terms of flexible working and time in the office versus not in the office.
Yeah.
So work-life balance will always be there, and there will always be something new or something else that you have to build into that conversation around work-life balance. So having a leader that prioritizes it in their own way, people will gravitate towards that. You know what I mean? So it's like it's much more beneficial, in my opinion, for you to do what you're doing, because you're setting the example to people. Because you want people to work, who work with you, who are like a little bit like-minded in that respect, because that's
boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I don't think it's any surprise that since that's been a priority, like a couple of people have said, "Oh, actually, my work-life balance has been better." I never made the connection. I thought it was just people are growing up and they're like, not in a patronizing way, but like they're growing into the role and like they're finding their feet and that kind of stuff. But it's a good point. How do you find the time to do that kind of stuff though? Because I feel like there is a lot of pressure, particularly when it is your business. Like you said something earlier which I think was quite poignant around when you work for someone else. Like there's always another pitch. Yeah. And there's two things here. There's one, when it's your thing, of course you take it personally, and of course you have to work harder because it's your business, and actually everyone else's livelihood is dependent on you in many respects. But equally, if you're not putting yourself first, like, Simon Sinek says, good leaders eat last. I actually think it's good leaders eat first. Like you need to replenish and I don't mean literally, but you need to replenish your bucket before you can fill anyone else's. It's like that, analogy of in the plane, you're putting your mask on first before you can support someone else. Yeah. How have you found managing that?
I don't think I have yet. If I'm honest, I don't think I don't feel like I've nailed it, or I don't feel like I have it's different all the time. So some weeks I'll prioritize fitness, I guess, and so I'll be like, right, at this point in the week, I'll dedicate some time to doing some exercise, whatever that is, gym, bike ride, whatever, running. But generally, like I kind of, everything at the moment is very much work comes first, and then if I can build it in tomorrow or later on today, then I'll try and do something for myself. So in terms of that's an exercise thing. Eating, still not eating brilliantly.
If it's any consolation, like I said, we're nearly 4 this year and I've only just started eating
well, exactly that.
I only just started bringing my own food into the office about a month ago.
Sunday's prep day, isn't it? So you got to...
but I just got into it. Like before I would, like even when I was eating at home, like it was good quality. Like I'd get like pasta evangelists, like pasta sauces and stuff, but I'd get the pre-made stuff because I just didn't have the, like in my head, I'm like, I don't have the time. I'm so busy. And I said earlier about thoughts being really positive, like powerful things. Yeah. When you say you're too busy, you are too busy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just as busy now, if not busier than I was a year ago. But I'm just more conscious of where I'm spending my time. And so, of course, taking the hour on a Sunday to make my lunches for the week makes sense because I know what's going into my body and I know it's going to make me feel great and not shit. So
I mean, prioritization is such an important part of being an entrepreneur, isn't it, or running your own business, because you need to spend your time wisely. And on one hand, coming from the corporate world into this world, you have more time because you're not being added to loads of other people's meetings, which is when you're in that, come to this meeting, sit on this board, come to this committee and all of this stuff. It's like none of that is actually going to further my role here and what you want from me. But for 20 hours a week, I'm sat in other people's meetings.
Wasn't it KPMG that started timing meetings?
Oh,
and
right.
I think they timed board meetings and they worked out the salary cost of everyone being in that meeting.
Yeah, smart.
And it'd be like the average meeting was costing like 70 grand. And they're like, you fucking joking. This could have been an email.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But the other thing, so the one thing that I do prioritize, that is spending time with my kids.
Yeah.
So, in the week, I'll do multiple drop-offs. And then in the evenings, invariably every evening I'll see them.
Yeah.
I might do a couple of pickups, but I will always make sure I'm there in the evening to spend time, dinner time, bath time, bedtime. And then if I need to hop back online and do some work then I'll do that.
Yeah.
I try not to, because at that point I think I'm decompressed. I'm different mode.
Yeah.
Therefore, unless there's something extremely urgent, I try not to do that. I just like, no, that's then my downtime, like, for whatever I do.
But also for parents, like, that is your downtime. Like, it's often an hour between putting them to bed and like you kind of winding down to go to sleep yourself. And so that's really precious. You don't really want to be using that working if you can avoid it.
Yeah, exactly that, because it has a knock-on effect to your sleep and all of that stuff as well. So actually you're not doing yourself any favors by. It's better if you get up early in the morning.
Yeah, I get up earlier and do it then.
Than try and do it before, because you might not switch off in time for you to get like a decent night's sleep or whatever.
Yeah. And sleep is so important.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping like shit recently, but like, it's one of the most underrated. Like, it's funny because I spoke to a high performance coach not too long ago, and he was saying the number one contributing factor to whether or not an athlete will win a race, to whether someone will become really successful, to whether someone gets the £1 million valuation they want or whatever it is sleep. The number one contributing factor.
The thing that you take for granted for so long until you can't anymore.
10 days of poor sleep is this equivalent to being, I think it's twice over the drink drive limit.
Oh, really?
In terms of cognitive functionality.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is mental.
It is, isn't it? I mean,
that's been me since my daughter was born. 7 years, so I must be fucked.
I think parents go through that, don't they, from day one.
There's a reason why sleep deprivation is a form of torture.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's tough. That's the thing, But then that's why it's important to do the things that give you good sleep hygiene as well. Like, just have that as much as, as good as possible, and to keep your bedroom cool. Don't have your phone in there. Don't do blue light like the hour before bed. There's loads of these things that you should do that, like, to have some time to wind down, whether that's meditation or whatever it is that you need to do.
I have a sleep routine. Like, you put kids, it's like dinner, bath, bed, a story, bed.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm like dinner, shower, story, bed,
a
child.
That's good though, isn't it? Like, raise your body temperature and then cool down is really good.
I have cold showers as well.
Oh,
so
right.
I'll have like a warm shower like at night.
Yeah.
But then for the last 30 seconds I'll have ice cold.
Yeah.
And I only just started doing this because my friend Jolene, because I don't love a cold shower, I fucking hate them. But like I like the feeling I get from having them. So I'll have them every morning after I've had my main like warm shower.
Yeah.
And she was like, have you tried having them at night? And I was like, no, because I get really bad insomnia. And I was like, no. And she was like, give it a go, because apparently there's a nerve in the back of your neck that helps regulate body temperature, and if you reduce your body temperature and then allow your body naturally to reheat itself,
I'll go that way round.
So if you get really cold and then don't get hot,
yeah,
that's actually where all the good functionality of having cold showers comes from.
Right.
That's why a lot of people do cold baths and then don't reheat. They let their body kind of reheat themselves, and so it has really improved my sleep. Actually, my sleep quality has gone from like 69% to like 99%.
Right.
The time hasn't changed, but the quality of it has changed massively.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm such a buyer. I love data like that. I'm like thinking, oh, what did I do yesterday? I had a drink. Well, maybe that's why it was 3% lower than it was the day before. Like, like obsessed.